Now as to Mr. Lorne Greene. As most of you know, uh, he was born in Canada and became a very prominent announcer for Canadian radio and early television. It was still black and white. Always saying the Allies suffered another staggering defeat, and I'm trying to imitate his powerful baritone voice, as they were thrust back 10 more miles by the German army. And he was called the voice of doom for that reason. But then the war ended, thank the good Lord, and he came down, he decided to make an attempt to get into the American theater. He came back down to New York from Montreal and from Ottawa, where he was born, and tried to establish himself in the theater. And he only met with sort of a piddling, moderate success. So he decided he might as well go all the way and come to Hollywood and see if he could make it in film. And there was one night, he had just arrived in Hollywood, and we had been invited to a social gathering, a typical Hollywood party, where there were mostly people from the industry, and a friend, or maybe his agent, brought him in. And here comes this man who already had the prematurely gray hair. He was a good size, and he had this wonderful voice, and Rose pokes me in the ribs with her elbow and says, "I think your Ben Cartwright just walked into the room." So I looked at Lorne after Rose said that, and I said, she may have a point there. And I go up and introduce myself to him, and I said, "What is he doing?" And he says, "He's appearing in a wagon train right now." In other words, his agent had got him a job, and he was in wagon train. And now I go down to the set, and there's a scene in which Ward Bond is toe-to-toe with this new guy who just came in from Canada named Lorne Greene, and he's trying to push him around, you know, be the bully, and Lorne Greene stands toe-to-toe and equal to Ward, is not intimidated. He shows tremendous power and strength. And I thought to myself, Rose is right. This can be Ben Cartwright, because it could also be gentle with something that Ward Bond could never be. So I approach him, and he's very flattered, and his agent is also very flattered. And we cast him as Lorne Greene. I mean, Lorne Greene as Ben Cartwright. And then the trouble began. He still felt he needed to use that powerful voice. And so he would come off not sounding like Lorne Greene, but some man who's yelling at the top of his lungs. And it would drive everybody crazy, including myself. And we try to tell him, "Lorne, you don't have to shout." And he says, "I don't shout. This is my speaking voice." And one day I'm watching dailies. I run down to the set, and there's the entire crew, everybody standing there. And I says, "You come with me, let's go to the projection room." So he comes with me, we take him to the projection room. Tell him, "All right, now start the dailies." We start the dailies, and there he comes with that big heavy voice. And I say, "Lorne, the microphone is so sensitive, even if you sigh, it'll pick it up. There's no need for you to overuse your voice. Underplay it a bit. You'll be more effective if you underplay than if you overplay, because this is what it sounds like when you overplay." And he took that advice to heart. In fact, so much to heart that he began to speak in a whisper. I said, "You don't have to whisper." He said, "Well, you said." I said, "Yes, but speak in a normal tone of voice. You can project, but don't shout when you project." And so finally, we reached the level, and he became the perfect Ben Cartwright.